Greetings and salutations, friends. I am Nimithrander, and we're picking up straight away at Eugene Terrace, continuing, well, the quest of the Lantern Rite. So we managed to save Hu Tao Chi-Chi as well as Lanyan recently. I had to figure out what to do next, as the problem wasn't resolved as far as I'm aware.
Ningguang! We got everyone back safely! Paimon thought you'd be super anxious having to wait for us here at Eugene Terrace, but you seem as calm as ever.
See? And you thought she'd be hopping around like a slime. Yeah, like I said last time, Ningguang is accustomed to command and authority. She usually delegates matters like this anyway. So, even if she was feeling anxious about the outcome, we wouldn't see it. Indeed. How bad is this bad? I don't fully understand what's happening yet.
Huh? So this isn't the first time? I've never heard of this happening before.
Presumably because Hu Tao and her ancestors kept this, under wraps, so to speak. She and her family have been tasked with overseeing these matters for centuries, if not millennia now. And seemingly they've been doing their job well enough that no one noticed it was even being done. An unfortunate comparison. After all, there's only so much you can do before the old foundation gives out on you. Could it perhaps be an intrusion of the abyss? We did see several hilichurls down there, after all.
You're thinking about Natlan, right? It did feel kind of similar, but not exactly the same.
You'll forgive me for thinking everything is the fault of the abyss after what happened in Natlan.
Is Lile's border anything like the Night Kingdom in Natlan? No wonder so many people have been aging faster than normal.
Then what should we do now?
Wait a second. That gates method you mentioned. Are you talking about the one from the Sanctification of Tao Du?
Yes, I fear they are. Meaning someone might have to die.
Do-over? You mean make a whole new border?
What is this 7 and 8 gates method exactly?
And the 7? What do you mean, obfuscate?
As in, disappear from the ley lines completely, never to be seen again, taking the banished evil along with them.
So it's even worse than simply dying. You erase yourself from existence.
So someone has to die for this to work? But you can't seriously be considering this.
If the alternative is everyone dying, then I'm afraid they are considering it, yes. Well, I suppose the answer then would be Chi-Chi, because she seems unnaturally resilient to fetter energy. Or perhaps the Traveler, he might be able to purify it, similar to how he purifies abyssal energy. Untested, however, which could be a problem. Being awfully careful with your words here, Ningguang. What precisely will you ask, I wonder?
Huh? There was a disaster at Wuwang Hill? What happened?
I always wondered how Hu Tao's parents died. And I'm guessing we're about to receive an answer to that question.
Some sort of natural disaster, wasn't it? There used to be a village there, but then there was a flood or something. It took a lot of lives, and all the survivors moved away. But that doesn't explain how Wuwang Hill became the dark and gloomy place it is today. Maybe there was more to it. Sounds good. If we're all done here, I'd better get going too.
Wait, Lun Yen. Paimon meant to ask, where to find Hu Tao. Did you already know something was wrong with the border?
Oh, that. Yeah, I definitely owe you an explanation. Why don't you meet me at the Adventurers Guild later? I just need to write a letter to my family first. I want to let them know I'm fine. And I also have some questions I want to ask them.
Alright, then we'll see you at the Adventurers Guild.
Alright, so waiting. Going to visit Lanyan at the Adventurers Guild and then wait 2 days to find out what we can about the locations of the 8 gates and what precisely has to be done to mend the border.
Traveler! Paimon! Over here! Perfect timing. I literally just posted my letter. Anyway, back to your question. Let me guess. You're probably thinking I predicted the border crisis with some kind of mysterious magic.
Well, yeah. Aren't the Lawns of Chen Yu Vale all experts at Chiman divination or something?
No, that's simply not true. Yes, the Chiman arts have been practiced in my clan for many generations. And yes, Wind Reader is listed as one of our ancestors in the genealogy. But my family are only distant relatives. We branched off from the main family line long ago. By my grandpa's generation, the only Chiman he knew was a few parlor tricks. Put it like this. My grandpa makes a living telling fortunes in Yilong Wharf. But I'm making more than him just selling my handmade arts and crafts.
Huh. So why exactly did you come to look for Hu Tao?
Because Grandpa's readings have gone sideways recently. The romance and career fortunes are doing okay. But when it comes to longevity, everyone's readings suddenly saying they only have a few years left to live. It gave Grandpa quite a fright. Fearing backlash from his clients, he closed shop and shut himself away at home, trying to divine an answer to the strange readings. But after days and nights of divination, the only clue he got was Wangshang Funeral Parlor. Right around that time, I happened to receive an invitation from the Ministry of Civil Affairs to organize a street fair. So I figured I might as well drop by the funeral parlor to see what Director Hu might know about all this.
Oh. Wait, so your grandpa's divinations were correct all along, weren't they? The longevity readings were affected by the border crisis, and Wangshang Funeral Parlor was the answer, because they could fix it.
It's certainly looking that way. Apparently every soul in Liyue is now living under the creeping shadow of death. But so far, we are the only ones in the know.
This makes me wonder about Renova. What does the Shade of Death have to say about this, I wonder? Does she even care about this issue? Considering what she did to the people of Canria, I would be tempted to say that no, she doesn't care. Well, I do appreciate that Thrain, the good captain, achieved a measure of vengeance against her. I do believe she's owed a fair bit more than even he managed. But whether or not we'll ever get the opportunity to dole out some just punishment, well, we shall see. For now, I have another question. What's the deal with this rattan figure?
Wait, that's the one I left at Miss Yingar's shop. It's actually a product of genuine Chiman art. It's engraved with an exorcism sigil to absorb inauspicious energy in their owner's place, so they won't come to harm.
Now that you've mentioned it again, the Chiman art, you claimed that your family was an offshoot, and that you lacked the true depth of the art that once was. But that makes me wonder, does anyone actually remember the full depths of the Chiman arts? Does the main branch of the Lan family still exist, and do they possess a greater knowledge than your branch family does? If so, I would think it'd be a good idea to contact them, would it not? But by the sounds of it, doesn't seem likely. So I suppose we'll have to make do with Lanyan and her skill, and her inheritance.
I had no idea you'd been holding on to it all this time. I guess it was meant to be. You're more than welcome to keep it if you like. When I first arrived at Liyue Harbor, I passed by a large house and felt a chill go down my spine. So I made a rattan figure and gave it to the young master there. Later on, I also sensed something similar around Timaeus, so I made another one and left it at Scent of Spring. Then I followed Director Hu to Wuwang Hill, only to find she disappeared without a trace. While I was searching the area, I found Miss Chi-Chi. She was stuck in some kind of crevice, and she seemed to be blocking something from coming through. When I tried to pull her out, we both got pulled into a cold, dark place, which I soon discovered was the border. We wandered around aimlessly for a while, until we ran into Director Hu. She lit some incense and was burning Feder left and right with a flaming staff. But there was just too much. There was no way she could hope to get rid of it all. Worse still, the Feder blocked off the way we'd come in, trapping us inside. Thank goodness you came to our rescue.
Whew, what an ordeal. Still, your family sounds more impressive than you let on. Didn't you use some kind of illusion magic in the border?
Yes. Actually, that and the rattan figures are things I learned from one of my cousins in the main branch of my family. She's been practicing the Chiman arts since she was little. She's also the one I posed some questions to in my letter back home.
Okay. So I presume you asked about the 7 and 8 gates method.
Wow! Good guess. Yes, I want to know for sure whether sacrificing one of the participants is a necessary part of the method or not. I figured she might know.
Huh? But Hutao already told us it won't come to that. She said we just need to make sure the person can withstand a strong blast of Feder.
Unfortunately, I'm inclined to think that Hu Tao is obfuscating the facts of the matter. She knows that the Traveler would never accept her committing suicide, even for so high a cause as this. And therefore, I'm betting that she is deliberately hiding what's going to happen from him, so that it's too late for him to stop it if he does catch wind of it. At least, that's what I fear Hu Tao is doing. Let's hope I'm wrong.
I certainly hope that's true, but I can't help but feel uneasy about it. I haven't known Director Hu for long, but I get the sense that she prefers to keep the truth bottled up sometimes. Sure, she talks a lot, and isn't afraid to broach dark and uncomfortable topics, but she really hasn't said much in the way of her own private thoughts. It's like she's already got a plan, and is keeping it to herself.
You mean, you think she lied to us?
I wouldn't call it lying per se, but remember when the Tianquan asked about the incident at Wuwang Hill from a decade ago?
Yep. Hutao said that it doesn't have anything to do with what's happening now. Are you saying they actually are related?
Do you know anything about what happened back then, Lanyan?
I just heard that there was a flood. But given everything that's going on, I think it likely had to do with the border as well. That would at least explain the strange weather going on at Wuwang Hill. I remember my my cousin saying that around that time, the Wangsheng funeral parlor set up an altar on top of the hill. I just assumed it was for a funeral. But now, I can't help but wonder if it was some sort of ritual to try and fix the border. Anyway, the ceremony was hosted jointly by two former directors of the Wangsheng funeral parlor, namely Hu Tao's father and grandfather.
Oh, really? Hu Tao's never mentioned her dad to us before. How strange. So you think there's more to the story, huh?
Yeah, but since she brushed it aside when the Tianquan asked her about it, I don't see how I can broach the topic. I've only known her for a few days.
I guess we should talk to Hu Tao ourselves then.
Huh? You think we should ask her about it? But she's never opened up to us about family stuff before. What if she shuts us out?
Then that's her choice. All we can do is try. I wouldn't advise Paimon poking at her until she breaks. That might dampen our friendship with her.
Alright, let's go find her and take it from there.
I hope my family will write back to me soon.
It would be preferable if your family would actually come to help with this. Particularly of the main branch, since it sounds as if they might actually have some method of helping. Assuming they've kept the ancient arts. Well, to a sufficient degree, they might be more helpful than most.
Hu Tao!
Indeed.
Yep, so we thought we'd come hang out with you. What were you looking at just now?
Why? Is it a secret photo of me? I'm wondering why the traveler is suddenly vain. Oh well. Jinx it how? I see.
Huh? Wait, are they?
Her father and grandfather. No sign of her mother or grandmother, though. So, what happened to him? I'm sorry to hear that.
That's awful. So, is that what made Wulong Hill the way it is today?
Quite the disaster, both for Wulong Hill and for you, Hu Tao. So your grandpa was affected by the incident with your father, then?
Sounds like you blame your dad for all this.
Hmm.
But maybe the question is, why did he mess up?
It's hardly meaningless, Utao. You said yourself you would have forgotten what he looked like if he hadn't left the picture.
But doesn't that show how much he cared? You don't need to be so hard on him. Sure, he made a mistake, but he can't have meant for things to turn out this way.
Hmm. Thank you for being so open with us. Even if I don't necessarily agree with how you talk about your old man.
Alright, in that case, Paimon has one last question. Earlier, you said that no one will have to die when the array is activated. Is that the truth?
Hmm.
Okay. That's all Paimon wanted to hear.
Which might be precisely why she said it. Hmm. Well said. Achievement Arts and the Rite of Homa. Well, with the quest ended, I think I'll end today's episode. Yeah, we are running about half an hour now. So, let's see if I can get my ending spiel right this time. If you have enjoyed this, be aware that I messed it up already. Let me try that again. If you've enjoyed this, do be aware that I post on this channel Monday through Friday. So, if you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to know when I post next. And as always, have a good day.